What if the story of Queen Esther is not just one of divine destiny, but a calculated, high-stakes game of espionage and strategy? What if, behind her beauty and courage, there was a mind working tirelessly in the shadows, weaving plans, gathering information, and executing a strategy so brilliant that it altered the fate of an entire nation? Welcome to the hidden world of Esther, a queen who wasn't just chosen by God, but was playing a much deeper, far-reaching game than anyone could have imagined. We know the tale well. A young Jewish girl, taken into the royal court of Persia, becomes queen of the empire, saving her people from the wrath of the wicked Haman. But what if the story is more complex than a simple divine intervention? What if Esther was not only a pawn in God's grand plan, but an active participant in a dangerous, high-stakes political game, using every resource at her disposal to change the course of history? The book of Esther tells us that she was chosen by the king Xerxes after a grand beauty contest, a simple yet powerful gesture of fate. Yet, what we often overlook is the intense political web she was stepping into. The Persian court under Xerxes was a place of intrigue, deception, and power struggles. As the queen, Esther was not only a figurehead, but had access to information and influence that many in the court would never know. She was part of a complex system of alliances, secrets, and covert actions, almost like an operative in a network of espionage. In Esther 2:8-9, it is clear that she won favor in the eyes of Hegai, the eunuch in charge of the king's harem. But was it simply her beauty that caught his attention? Or was there something more? What if Esther, aware of the dangerous political environment around her, was already playing the game of persuasion and strategy even before she was crowned queen? She would have known how to use her influence, her charm, and her intelligence to navigate the deadly waters of the Persian palace. When we think of the actions of Esther, we often focus on her bravery in approaching King Xerxes to plead for the lives of her people. But what if that moment was part of a carefully orchestrated plan, a calculated move in a larger political game? Esther didn't just approach the king with an emotional plea. She used her knowledge of the court, its secrets, and its inner workings to her advantage. In Esther 5, she prepares a feast, not only to reveal Haman's treachery, but to ensure that the king is in the right mindset to act. Esther's ability to manipulate the court is something that cannot be overlooked. She understood the intricate dance of politics and power. In a world where decisions were made behind closed doors, and the fates of millions hung in the balance, Esther was not just a passive queen waiting for divine intervention. She was actively shaping the events around her. Her strategic mind knew that her beauty and position were only tools in a far greater mission. It was the information she gathered, the alliances she formed, and the careful moves she made that ultimately led to Haman's downfall. Let's not forget that Esther's position as queen, though seemingly the ultimate victory, was fraught with dangers. Her Jewish identity was a secret, and the king himself was unaware of her true background. But what if she knew that the key to her survival and the survival of her people lay in keeping this secret until the right moment? In the palace of Persia, secrets were currency. The knowledge Esther held about the court, its factions, and its inner workings were crucial. she had to learn to maneuver through a labyrinth of conspiracies and shifting allegiances. And she did it, all while maintaining the image of a humble queen. Esther's courage in the face of adversity was extraordinary, but it was not just the courage of a woman standing up for her people. It was the courage of a queen who understood the power of secrecy, the weight of the information she carried, and the peril of revealing it at the wrong moment. In Esther 4:14, Mordecai tells her, "Who knows, but you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." But what if such a time wasn't just about divine destiny? What if it was about Esther's own preparation, her own meticulous planning, and the network she had built around her? As Esther moved forward with her plans, she relied not just on divine guidance, but on a network of people she trusted. These included her uncle Mordecai, the eunuchs who served the king, and the officials who kept the pulse of the kingdom. In essence, Esther's success was not the result of fate alone, but the result of her ability to tap into a larger network of power, information, and influence. She was playing the game of the Persian court with intelligence and foresight, just like a master spy. Consider the timing of her actions. In Esther 6, when Xerxes cannot sleep, it is no coincidence that the royal records are brought to him, recounting how Mordecai saved the king's life. This is not just divine intervention. It's the result of Esther's strategic mind at work. She knew the right moments to act, when to approach the king, and how to align the stars in her favor. She didn't just trust God. She used the wisdom and resources available to her to carry out her mission. In a world where power is often gained through secrets, alliances, and hidden agendas, Esther stands out as a brilliant strategist. She didn't just wait for God to act. She became an active participant in his plan, using her understanding of the world around her to shape the course of events. Esther is not just a story of divine intervention. It is a story of human agency, intelligence, and courage in the face of impossible odds. Esther's rise to power challenges us to think about how we, too, can navigate the systems around us. Are we merely waiting for divine intervention, or are we actively using the tools, the knowledge, and the relationships at our disposal to fulfill a higher purpose? Like Esther, we all have the ability to step into positions of influence, armed not just with faith. We also have the wisdom to use what we have to achieve, what needs to be done. Her story raises more questions than answers. Was Esther truly the passive pawn in God's grand design, or was she an active player, maneuvering through the Persian court with the precision of a master strategist? And what does her story teach us about the role of secrecy, strategy, and information in our own lives? As we reflect on Esther's life, we are left with a profound mystery. How much of her success was the result of divine intervention, and how much was the product of her own brilliant, calculated moves? The mysteries of Esther's reign continue to fascinate and inspire. Was she a queen chosen by fate, or was she, in fact, a spy in the grand court of Persia? Perhaps the answer lies in both. What do you think?